Alright, in this lesson I want to describe what a concept map is. Concept map is an excellent study technique, and it involves taking whatever relevant concepts you've been studying and writing them down on a piece of paper, spread out in a way that then you try to think of how different concepts relate to each other. And you can illustrate that by using arrows to connect various concepts. So for example, if you'll notice the words on this page here, they're all having to do with the scientific methodology. How do you do scientific experiments? And the middle term here is the word experiment. And you'll notice it's got various arrows coming from it. One of the arrows here has a little label. It says tests A. So here's how we would read this. An experiment tests a hypothesis. So the direction of the arrow tells you how to compose the statement linking these two concepts. So you take the first concept here and then you write down the linking idea between the concept experiment and the concept of hypothesis. In this case, an experiment tests a hypothesis. And again, the arrow indicates which way you're starting the thought. You could draw the arrow the other way and say a hypothesis is tested by an experiment. But I've just chosen in this example to do it this way. So that's up to you though. But you wouldn't draw both of them. That would be redundant. Over here is another one. An experiment has a control condition. So again, the purpose of a concept map is to practice discovering or just reinforcing the links between concepts. And it sort of models how concepts are thought to be stored in the brain as well. And the more links you make between concepts, the better your comprehension of the material will be. So as an exercise, we can practice filling in some of the linking ideas along these arrows. Each of these arrows that has nothing written down on it then would have to be filled in. So we would need something that links the idea, for example, of experiment and results. Well, you might say that an experiment produces results. Here's one over here, very similar to another link, experiment and experimental condition. Just as an experiment has a control condition, an experiment has an experimental condition as well. So let's take a look when we start to fill in some of these linking ideas, what it might look like. And so here we see a concept map for terms related to the scientific method. An experiment produces results. Results support or weaken the hypothesis. A hypothesis is a first attempt at an explanation. A hypothesis generates a prediction. A prediction is a statement about expected results. An interpretation is an explanation of the results. An interpretation is an explanation. An experiment has a variable. The experimental condition has a variable. The control condition lacks the variable. So this looks like a mess. It's a web, and it's meant to be a web. It gives us practice in linking these concepts. It's an excellent way to study.